They always play the victim after acting like the devil. You have no idea what they did to me. That was a sentence he kept telling everyone. He said it after family gathering. He said it to friends. He said it to neighbors who knew nothing about the situation. Every time someone asked why the relationship ended, he painted himself as the wounded one. His voice sounded broken. His eyes looked sad. People felt sorry for him. What nobody knew was that he was hiding the part of the story that mattered the most. He never told them how many nights you cried yourself to sleep because of the cruel things he said. He never mentioned the things he never mentioned the times he embarrassed you in front of people and then laughed about it afterward. He never spoke about the promises he broke without apologizing. He left out the countless moments when you begged for respect and received silence in return. The more he talked, the more people believed him. One afternoon, a mutual friend called. I don't understand why you treat him that way, she said. You sat quiet. Treat him what way? You asked. He said you abandoned him when he needed you the most. For a moment, you could not believe what you were hearing. Abandon him? You remembered rushing to the hospital when he was sick. You remember working extra hours when he lost his job. You remember standing beside him when nobody else wanted anything to do with him. Yet, somehow, you had become the villain in the story he was telling. You could have fought back. You could have called every person he spoke to. You could have exposed every lie. Instead, you chose something harder. You chose silence. Not because you were weak, because you were exhausted. You knew that people determined to misunderstand you would not suddenly become fair simply because you explained yourself. Weeks passed, months passed, then his campaign against you continued. He enjoyed the attention. Every conversation became another chance to gain sympathy. Every gathering became another opportunity to collect support. The problem was that lies required maintenance, the truth does not. One evening, he met someone new. At first, everything looked perfect. She admired him. She listened to his stories. She believed every word he said. For the first time, he felt valued. Finally, somebody saw him as the victim, or so he thought. As time went on, something strange started happening. The same complaint he once made about you began appearing in the new relationship. The woman accused him of being controlling. She said he twisted situations to make him look innocent. She complained that he never accepted responsibility for anything. Those words sounded familiar, very familiar. He dismissed her concern. Then another person said the same thing. Then another one said again and again. Suddenly, the pattern became impossible to ignore. People who had never met you were describing the exact behavior you had experienced. The image he carefully created started cracking. Questions replaced sympathy, doubt replaced admiration. Those who once believed every story began noticing something different. One friend approached him directly. Something isn't adding up, he said. What do you mean? You keep saying everyone hurts you. Every relationship, every friendship, every disagreement. At some point, don't you think you should look at yourself? The question hit him very hard. For the first time, he had no proper answer. That night, he sat alone in his apartment. The room felt unusually quiet. No audience, no supporters, no one to convince, just him and his thoughts. He replayed memories, years of memories, argument, conversation, broken trust, moments he had written in his favor. The version he told others suddenly looked different from reality. He remembered the day you packed your belongings. You weren't shouting, you weren't angry, you simply looked tired, as if carrying the relationship had become too heavy. At the time, he thought your departure proved you didn't care. Now he understood something painful. You left because you cared for yourself. He now understands the damage he caused. Meanwhile, your life had changed. You stopped defending yourself. You stopped chasing people for understanding. You focused on healing. The energy once spent proving your innocence was now investing in building your future. You smiled more. You slept better. You discovered peace one afternoon. Someone who had believed his lies ran into you. The conversation felt different at first. Then she said, I owe you an apology. You looked surprised. For what? I judged you without knowing the truth. You smiled gently. It's okay. No, she said, it's not. I should have listened before choosing sides. That moment taught her something important. The loudest person is not always the most honest. The one crying for attention is not always the one who was harmed. Sometimes the real victim is too busy receiving violence. Years later, people barely remember the stories he told, the sympathy he forgot so hard to collect disappeared, the attention faded, the audience moved on, but your growth remained, your peace remained, your dignity remained, because in the end, pretending to be a victim can win temporal support, but the truth has a way of surviving long after the performance is over. And the people who spent their lives acting like the injured party eventually faces the one person they cannot manipulate anymore.